Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I have guests in the house, that's why I'm wearing my mask. That's the craziness that lives inside my head. I'm Eric, and my rant today is about my book, Nemesis Horizon Project, Reptilian Logs. And the reason I'm ranting is because I got quite a few reviews. If you on my Facebook page, you see how you say, put them on my the reviews on my Facebook page. But I want to read this a minute from one of the reviews. What I did enjoy from this story was the amazing erotic scenes, and there are a lot of them. No detail is left to the imagination, inducing feelings of completeness and satisfaction. I love how Seth comes into discovery of his reptilian heritage as we journey with him through his journalism, through the men he needs, and the complicated relationships he has with them, shedding his humanness and becoming a soldier in his grandfather's war, which is why I'm excited to see what happens next. Will he meet his half-brothers? Will humans be eliminated? Will what will become of the leader of the reptilian empire? Seth is one of I have two main characters. And people who read all the reviews is kind of, they didn't give me a good review. I mean, she gave me I didn't read the whole review. She gave me, in my opinion, she gave me a very good review, but she only gave me 2 stars. It's 4 stars. She only gave me 2. And the only reason why she only gave me 2 is because she put the story was confusing. She liked the Seth. She put Seth was the main character. Then when I went to the other chapters and moved away from Seth, talk about the other reptilians, and I don't think she really cared for that. But all she wanted was Seth, and she was enthralled with Seth and how he metamorphosed, so to speak. And she mentioned, as I read, she mentioned the exotic sex scenes, and a lot of the reviewers, which I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if this is a male or female, but this reviewer is the first one that actually didn't have a problem with the sex scenes. Majority of the reviewers, and I could tell by some have pictures that they were females, and they had problems with it. One female, she didn't like the fact that the relationships between 2 guys was so nauseating and sexual and abusive that she didn't like those characters. But she did like the characters and relationship between the females and the males. They were loving, they were nurturing. Well, that's what the book is all about. The book is about these reptilians who were nauseating and sexual and and they were having affairs and making out with the human females, which those relationships were nurturing and loving and caring. And well, getting back to the sex scenes, this reviewer right here was the only one who mentioned, and like I said, I didn't read the whole review, but in the beginning she mentioned that I'm thinking it's a she, that she had to read the book twice because there was so many sex scenes and so much sex in it. When she read it the second time, then she realized that it fits the period. In the book starts off with Seth in 1970 and it ends in 2040. That's a long period. And most of the sex that Seth had in the book was from the 70s. Yes, sex was rampant in the 70s. Rampant. Some of the reviewers who read it thought that it was excessive, that it was gratitude sex, gratitude sex just for the book to sell books, whatever. No, that's how sex was in the 70s. I mean, in the 70s, my God, I'm going to be honest with you, and let's be really honest, Seth is about me. Those sex scenes that I've written in the book is true or real sex scenes. Those are sex scenes those what I went through. Those are the relationships that I went through. And yes, one Christmas, I did walk out my apartment. I lived in downtown Brooklyn. I walked out of my apartment to go Christmas shopping, and I'm walking across the street. This guy blew his horn, honked his horn, and he was honking at me. I smiled. He smiled. He said, "You need a ride? Need a lift?" I got in the car. We went, 10 blocks to Cadman Plaza, and there you go. And then he dropped me off at the house. Yes, that's how sex was. I mean, in the 70s, I went to the Apple Bar, which was, I guess it was a straight bar by day, gay bar by night. The Apple Bar on 7th Avenue and 135th Street. There was an abandoned building. I went there one night, met a guy in the bar. We went to the abandoned building, and yes, we did. We had sex. You had sex in an abandoned building. You had sex on a train station. You had sex. There was sex all over the place. And it's not just gay men. Women were doing it too. I had a friend, straight friend, who had sex with a girl in the park, in Washington Square Park. They were in the bushes. I sat there because I had to watch out to make sure the police don't come. Sex in the 70s was, I'm telling you. The only thing I do like about the 70s, I don't know what happened in the 80s. I think it was AIDS. But in the 70s, it was party, sex, what do they call it? Sex, rock and roll or something. But it was partying, it was sex, it was drugs. Um, I didn't, in my opinion, I probably don't really know, but I didn't experience any sexual harassment. Um, when you went to a disco, usually is go to the disco. What's that record? There's a record came out about. I want to go where the happy people go. Well, we all know where the happy people. I don't know why that record didn't say gay people. It said happy people. I want to go where the happy people go. Everybody want to go to disco. Everybody. It was one big party. It was one big party. Do I miss it? No. No, I don't miss it. That was the whole problem. That was part of what the book was about. Seth was looking for love. Seth was looking for love. And Seth didn't find love until he got sober. One reviewer didn't like the fact that I made Seth obese. She was appalled, and she said she'd written that she was appalled that I had to make Seth obese. Well, Seth was obese. I was about 400 some pounds. I mean, what do you want? What do you want? I know she's just a reviewer, but what do you want? I mean, that's the way it is. Seth was obese, but when Seth got sober and lost the weight, he found in the book, he found the man of his dreams. But look what he had to do. Now, like I said, the way the book is written. Seth was a hybrid, but when Seth really realized that he was a reptilian, and and he met this reptilian lover who was in love with him and who helped him change to be what he really is. That's when Seth lost the weight and became a warrior for his grandfather's war. There's a lot of talk about grandfather, and one reviewer didn't like the fact that you never see the grandfather. The grandfather always shows up in the book as a hologram. And if you read, if I have 3 books out on Nemesis Horizon, and all 3 books are, and probably the whole series is dedicated to my grandfathers. I never met any of my grandfathers, so it's kind of like in the book you don't. The grandfather's there, but only on holographs, so you never get to see the grandfathers. You never get to meet the grandfather. All you see, He only comes in when he want to talk to his grandsons in a hologram. That's how I feel. I heard a lot about my grandfathers, and what do you do? I wrote this book dedicated to all my grandfathers. Anyway, I just want to put that out there, that Nemesis Horizon Reptilian Log is definitely a book about me. It's my alter ego. Seth is the first one, and Stefan is the second one. We'll talk about that another time. This is Eric, and this is That's the Craziness that lives inside my head.